Welcome in. We have big things to talk about today. Celsius stock reported their earnings and down 18.5%. And this is one of my biggest positions. It's my second biggest position. Being down that much is not going to be fun, but I want to go over their earnings report. So, will we be toasting ourselves with Celsius after this? Don't quite know. And right before we get into the report, as I just said, it is my second biggest position, and I'm still down quite a large amount. And keep in mind, my portfolio is still worth around 29, 30,000 right now. So this is still a 15, 16% weighting? Still pretty big weighting. And I'm just putting this out there to let you know how much faith I have in the company. It's not a position size that's 1%, 5%, small little amount. This is a very big position, and it does matter a lot to the portfolio whether it performs or doesn't. Getting into the report, revenue was up 11%, and this was lower than other quarters, but that's acceptable. Cost of revenue was up 18%, which is one of the issues this quarter. And the main reason that cost of revenue was up so much is because growth. No, sorry. The main reason that gross profit was only up 3% was because of the cost of revenue. So this one being down is obviously bad, but once cost of revenue starts to go down, gross profit will inherently increase as well. Another thing to keep in mind is there was a distributor termination fee of 80 million that was recorded on the balance sheet, which makes it kind of look worse. It inflates the badness of the report, but Pepsi does have to pay that with their deal because they're the distributor. They have a contract where they have to pay any termination fees. So basically, their balance sheet looks a bit worse than what it really is. And if we ignore this termination fee that Pepsi paid, that Celsius didn't have to pay for at all, the income from operations should have been around 155 million, which isn't terrible. It's obviously not the best or where you want to see the company, but it's acceptable. Overall, it's an okay earnings report. The stock reacted hit down here 18.5% past week, but it reacted like it was terrible. It was absolutely garbage. It's not that bad. Obviously, it's not good. It's not bad. It's meh. So it's just a meh earnings report. And what am I doing with the stock? So I just want to talk about what I see in the company as of right now today. So the company has multiple brands. They have the Celsius brand, they have the Alani brand, they have the Rockstar brand that they acquired, and they can continue acquiring more brands over time. They have multiple growth sections, as in each one of these brands has very high growth opportunity, the most obviously being in Celsius and Alani, and they have international opportunity. Celsius is mainly only in the US. They have spread a bit to Canada and a little bit in other places. However, they're not really in Europe. They're not in the international market, really. And that's a huge untapped opportunity for them where they can have insane growth for years to come. A lot of analysts have the stock growing at like single digit growth percentages in like a year or two out. In 3, 4, 5 years, they all have single growth percentages. I think it can easily be double growth or double digit percentage growth, but I think the real question is whether it's like 10, 11, 13, 15, 17%. It kind of depends, but either way, I think it's going to grow more than analysts expect. They have a good product, and they always have the opportunity to steal self space and increase their margins over time in the business. So that's what I see in the company today. And where do I see this company going in the long term? I believe that they're going to have a much bigger market cap than they are right now. I think they're going to be along with the drink giants in the industry. I think for the energy drink industry specifically, Celsius will end up being the biggest winner and the biggest beneficiary. And the category is growing as well, which is something I like to see. High growth company in a high growth category. And another thing to keep in mind is that the worst time for Celsius is right now, where they're going to have lower margins, they're going to have lower revenue because they're spending, they're expanding, all of this. But if you look at their earnings report and what's supposed to be their worst time, it's not that bad. Obviously, it could be better, but for something that's supposed to be in its worst time right now, it's looking pretty good. And I think better days are ahead. and the brands are only going to get stronger as time progresses, and it's the market's just pretty undervaluing the stock right now at 23, $24. And my final decision here is buy. I did buy a bit more Celsius. I believe I bought another 20 shares here today. I'm probably going to buy another 20 more tomorrow, maybe 30. But I do have to keep my position sizing in mind, because other than AMD, which is kind of at an outlet liar, it's, I believe, around 35% of my portfolio, which is a lot, and I will admit that, but I just believe in that one so much that I'm going to allow it. And all of that position size is from gains as well. But for Celsius, I do want to keep it under a 20% position sizing if possible, maybe like 25%. But like, if it continues to stay at current values, I will be adding over time. So the longer it stays here, the more I'll add up, and I'll happily take shares from the company. If you don't own Celsius, it's an amazing opportunity to buy into the stock, buy into a great company with growth for years to come. And another thing to keep in mind is that just because it's not in a super exciting industry, so to say, doesn't mean it can't be a very good investment. A lot of people are focused right now on technology stocks, AI stocks, this and that. But I do think that if you look other places in the market, there are opportunities to make money. There are opportunities to make a lot of money. And I think Celsius is the best one of those opportunities today. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.